Hi, so I suppose you're wondering why the fiddle to start with. So on Thursday this week, a very good friend, it's his 10th anniversary. So a young man who was taken much too young, Paul Jordan, and good fiddle player, great sense of humour, and so no wonder we got on. So played with Paul for a lot of years, and so just wanted to play a little tribute to him today. And so the first tune was a slow air, Slán Shankara, Goodbye Old Friend, and the reel was Miss McLeod's reel. And so there was a lot of interaction between Ireland and Scotland. The music moved back and forth, and so it is a Scottish tune that's come into the Irish repertoire of reels. And so and of course in Ireland we invented the bagpipes. And we gave them to the Scots as a joke, but they haven't seen the joke yet. So there was two senior couples, and they were having dinner together, and they were chatting, and then the wives went into the kitchen to fix the dessert, and so the two men were left on their own at the dining table, and they were chatting, and one says to the other, he says, you know, with all this lockdown now and everything, you know, and having to stay at home, I really miss going out to eat. And especially, there was an Italian restaurant we really used to like going to. And the other guy says, which restaurant was that? And he says, he says, let me think, what's that long flower with thorns and a flower at the end? He says, Rose. He says, that's it. So he turns to the kitchen and shouts in, Rose, what was the Italian restaurant we used to go to? So there was a couple, and she was ill, and so he sat down on the side of the bed one day and he said, you know, we should start putting things, you know, in order. And he says we should start sorting, you know, a lot of our things out. And he says, now there's a box in there you told me never to touch, and so I think it's time to have a look in. So he went out and he took the shoe box out of the wardrobe, and he opened it up, and there were some doilies in there and some money. So he counted the money, $860. You know, so, and he was quite amazed at that. And then there was 12 doilies, all hand crocheted. And he said to her, holding the doilies, what are these? He says, well, every time I got mad at you, I crocheted a doily. And he says, well, 50 years and 12 doilies. He says, that's very good, you know. It's, yeah, I'm really, you know, I think that's good. And he says, and what's the money from? She says, selling doilies. The guy goes into a bar and he orders gin and tonic, 3 olives. And so the barman puts the drink down, he takes a little jar from his pocket, puts the olives in, puts it back in his pocket, drinks the gin, orders another gin, 3 olives, takes the jar out, puts the olives in, drinks the gin, orders a third one, and the barman's putting it down, and he says, hey, what's the story here? And the guy says, my wife sent me out for a jar of olives. So last year when I was home in Ireland, I needed to go and have a tooth looked at. So I went to the dentist, and I was sitting in the waiting room there, and I was looking around at all the diplomas, and the dentist's name was Helen Corcoran. And I said, I went to school with a Helen Corcoran. I wonder, is it the same one? So anyway, the receptionist, she took me in and sat me in the chair and that, and then in walked the dentist, and I looked at her and I thought, oh no, much too old to be in my class. So anyway, after the procedure, I was chatting to her and I said, I used to go to school with a Helen Corcoran. Would that be any relatives of yours by any chance? And she says, what school did you go to? I says, St. John's. And she says, and what year did you... So I said to her, she said, I went to St. John's. And I said, what year did you graduate? And she says, 1959. And I said, you were in my class. And she looks at me and says, I can't place you. What did you teach? That's all, folks.